Well, let's get a bit serious, man. I see the
Yes.
T-shirt that you're wearing as well.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we cannot start this conversation without talking about the stuff that's happening in America. And obviously, this is really random because we planned to have a chat like more than a week ago, and
Yeah.
this stuff just happened in the first week. But I feel like you're one of the perfect person to kind of like talk about it. You grew up in Seattle as well, which is like predominantly white city as well, for what I know of. And I just wanted to get your opinion and see how you're feeling about all the stuff, especially in your country and you being here, seeing what's happening. How you feeling, man?
Yeah, it's a bit tough, to be honest. Luckily where I grew up in Seattle, it is predominantly white and also Asian, but it's a very progressive city. It's a very progressive thinking city. So, a lot of the ideals and morals that I have today are, come from that city, and obviously how I was raised with my grandparents. So I'm fortunate to have been raised there, but that doesn't put aside the fact that I'm still a Black kid in America. And it's there. I mean, I put out a tweet today. I said I was going to get off social media till the rest of the season was over. But I put out a tweet today because I felt like I just couldn't really stay silent about this. And my grandpa texted me the other day, and he was like, "I'm glad you're not in America right now because I'd fear for your life as a young Black man." And I'm sitting there thinking, it's like he was born in 46, so he was alive when Martin Luther King, was doing all of his civil rights movement. Through some very serious times racially in U.S. history. And still 70 years later, he still fears for his grandchild that his life can be taken by, by unjust acts by the police. And that to me is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It feels like, I see it like in a way that for so many things in this world, we act or we think that we're moving forward so quickly, or we're getting better at stuff. But then when these things happen, you kind of feel like we're going backwards. And I got a lot of people telling me like, "Oh, it's not that we're going backwards. It's just like today there's more information and there's more videos and everything's more out there." But this stuff has been happening for years and years, and in a way that is right. It's not only now, but nowadays when everyone is just able to like record something, put it on social media, and actually see like what the hell is going on. It's way more brutal than we actually
100%.
feel from here, and it's so scary, man, because as you say, that the fact that your grandpa has, he feels like he's actually relieved that you're not there. I don't think there's anything that speaks louder than that, man.
That's that's the thing. That's like, that's kind of been sticking in my head. This whole, basically since he texted me that, it's just been ringing in my head, and it's just like I can't really get over it, because it's like my home country, the country that I represent when I put on the U.S. jersey, the country that I think there's 2 Americans in the Premier League right now, me and Christian. So the country that, I represent when I'm playing over here in England, and this is what people see. It's honestly like this last week has been a bit embarrassing, because it's like you come into training and everybody's like, "Bro, your country is like in ruins and shambles," like that, and I can't defend it, because it is. It's a complete wreck. It's complete havoc. It's and as far as the riots go and things, it's like I'm definitely not a person to condone violence. I'm probably the last person to condone violence and rioting and all this, but I do have the outlook where it's like, what else do you do? You know what I mean?
That's how that is the way that they're responding towards you. So it's kind of like the only way that you can respond towards them.
I don't know. It's like I don't know what else people are supposed to do, and I know there's people out there that are out looting and setting things on fire for the wrong reasons. They're doing things just to create chaos. I know that, but the people that are actually out there trying to be heard, it's like I don't know what else you're supposed to do, because you saw obviously Colin Kaepernick kneeling. You know what I mean? people thought, okay, maybe that will bring a change. And, that dug deep in the hearts of, the people who are the problem today, that dug deep in the hearts of them, that people were kneeling during the national anthem. So you thought, okay, maybe, that's hurting them a bit. This might be the change that we need. And then you have these acts, like within 2 weeks of each other. You know what I mean? I was talking to my girlfriend today, and I was saying, it's crazy because since George Floyd's death, it's like I've completely forgot about Ahmaud Arbery, who is charged. You know what I mean? It's like that's completely gone out of my head now, and it's like as an American, especially young Black American, you kind of become desensitized to it. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, another kid died today, or another guy died today, and that's really sad because it's human life, and it's the most sacred thing that we're talking. You know what I mean? It's the most important thing to talk about, a human life, and we're desensitized to it because it happens so much.
And actually, I feel like this one got so big because there was someone recording the whole thing. It was 8 minutes. The guy screaming for his life. He's screaming, like asking for his mother that he had passed away. Like, it's just crazy to see. But then I read in an article in the New York Times that in the same week, there had been like 4 other murders. It's just because they hadn't been recorded or they hadn't been out, and the way they were, people didn't know about them. And I was thinking, this is actually crazy.
And that's been the story this whole time, is that if it's not recorded or on camera or anything like that, it's swept under the rug. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, what side are people going to believe? A cop or somebody who they're framing to be a thug or a gangster or something like this. I mean, it's just ludicrous, and it's very sad. And I do believe that I think there will be change that comes from this, because I think with the younger generation coming in, I think the younger generation has a much more progressive way of thinking. They don't have parents that, were teaching them that Black people were inferior and this and that. It's a younger generation. They're progressive thinking. They're, you can just see it with social media and things like that. I think obviously back in the day, it's a bit harder to, when you had a situation like this, to try to convince people that it was wrong, which is crazy to me. But, I guess that's how it was back then. But I think this is the tipping point. I really do. And I hope it is.
Yeah, I hope so. And actually, I feel like in our industry, it's been the young people, the ones that they spoken out about it more, like people like Jadon Sancho, Hakimi, like when they scored, or when you see on social media, is actually like, I even saw like Ryan Brewster, and sometimes I'm thinking like, where are the older players, or where are the older generation? Sometimes maybe something for what you say, like it was different back in the day, or maybe some people don't want to say the wrong thing, because I get that sometimes. I could say that I'm talking as an outsider, but not really, because I don't feel this is a subject that's only for Black people. This is involves everyone right now,
100%.
And also what also frustrates me, and is that this is something that happens all over the world. That has happened in the UK, it's still happening. But you see it in the US, but then you have a president that is not even asking for unity. He's actually he wants to stop fire with more fire, kind of thing. And sometimes you don't really know if like he's doing that on purpose, or if he has like I don't really know what it is. We all know like the stuff that he's always been said, how his racial comments, etc. And we see this from the UK sometimes as like what is this guy talking about? Like it doesn't make sense to me that a president of like the United States, like the greatest country in the world, is saying these things that he says, and he's acting the way he's acting. And I feel right now what you need is for people to unite, because this is what people are doing in the streets, whether you're Black, whether you're Asian, whether you're white, and he's responding with the wrong message constantly. So how are you gonna stop that?
It's I mean, that's the other thing that's been quite embarrassing, actually, and that's been for his whole presidency, is the fact that he's been elected. It's beyond me how it happened, and I know you can't really change the past, but it still is like, it's mind-boggling, the fact that he got elected. And you can really see now he is the worst possible person that we could have in a situation like this, because like you said, he doesn't promote unity at all. You know what I mean? It's almost like he wants diversity, not diversity. It's almost like he wants people to just be split.
Division,
he wants to be two sides. Yeah, division. Which is it's crazy. And for a U.S. president and such a powerful country, you know, the fact that is what's being said by supposedly the face of our country is ludicrous. And people, I don't want to say people are laughing at it because it is a very serious situation, but so many, I mean, literally everybody I talk to over here is like, what is going on over there? Like, nobody can figure it out. How has this guy got elected? And two, the things that he says, especially over Twitter. You know what I mean? He says these things over Twitter, like a U.S. president is saying these things over Twitter. And I know social media is, you know, used in this day and age, and you know, it's a great way to connect with people, but he's saying very serious things. And if he's going to say those things, you know what I mean? You think he'd use a more serious platform than Twitter. You know what I mean? Things like that.
And not only that, and the things that he says, what he's promoting, whether he promotes violence or there's like fake stats that he talks about. I mean, there's no person that nowadays you can think of as more influence. And, you know, when you have that power, and even if you just have like 140 characters or whatever, you have to be so careful with what you say, because it's got to a point that Twitter had to put like a page before his tweet saying like, whatever the president is saying, it might not be right. Please make your research. Like, it's crazy that the social media has to say this when this is supposed to be the person that should have everything under control, kind of thing.
100%. I completely agree. And, you know, like I said before, it's embarrassing having that guy representing us. And it's just chaotic and kind of a shit show right now, to be honest. I mean, it's been a shit show. It's just there's been a blanket over it, and now things are being brought to light. So,
It was kind of brewing, right? It's one of the things, like when you see like with Colin Kaepernick like kneeling down, and also like how the NFL responded to it, which I think it was like it was really wrong. And then, you know, it's kind of like these little events are happening, but it doesn't really like blow out. You know, you see a few people doing it and that's it. But I feel like right now, you know, everything has been like so in our faces, and that now there's no way out. Like, this thing that people say, like being silent is actually siding with them, and that's how it actually feels. And because now you've seen like the gravity of the things that are happening, and there's no way you can hide it anymore.
You can't hide it. No, you can't hide it. It's I mean, like we said, nowadays with social media and everything, you know, like that blanket has now been taken off and things are being brought to light. And, you know, people that, you know, don't know America and maybe the problems that it has are very surprised by this. But especially as a young Black American, it's not surprising. It's what's been going on all along. It's just now people are more aware of what's going on. You know what I mean?
But you've been living that the whole time, huh?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say that I've been, you know, chased down by police and handcuffed and this and that. But there are real problems in America, like big problems, big problems, especially between, I'm not even going to put Black people in this. I'm going to put minorities in this. Between the police and minorities. And, you know, when I tweeted something, my girlfriend's reading me back a tweet today, and some guy had put some statistic about you have less chance of, or you have more chance of being struck by lightning and being killed by the police. Wherever you got that statistic, being Black and being killed by police. And it's like, there's a problem with that, because one of those things is Mother Nature. Another of those things is somebody else, another human, taking the life of another human unjustly. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if lightning strikes you, you don't have a choice. You know what I mean? It's unlucky. And as a Black person, you know what I mean? As a Black person, when you're faced with the police, it's also sometimes how it feels. You don't have a choice. You know what I mean? It's you see. I think the kid's name was Dylan Rofe or whatever, who went into the church in Charleston and shot up all the Black people. And you saw how he got arrested. You know what I mean? Calmly on the ground, everything like that. I don't even want to think about what would happen if black person or a minority went into a white church or a predominantly white church and shot up he'd be shot on sight, no questions asked.
Or even the white people protests where they were like all heavily armed. Yesterday I saw a video that a white guy that he was no police, he was nothing. He had like his rifle and everything. And the police said very respectfully, please get out of here. When we all know that if that was a black person, that's not the way that police would have responded.
No, not at all. Not at all. And when people say that it is equal and there is no white privilege, they're talking bullshit. And they know it. They know it. But some people are just so close-minded and so blind to the fact of what's really going on, which is really sad, to be honest.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to kind of like, you can add to it after, but I just wanted to send a little message because, you know, a lot of people think that this is a minorities issue. And I want to make it loud and clear that this is an issue that involves everyone. And as I said before, when you are silent to this, you're siding with them. And it's important that as white people and people of privilege, we can call it, to do everything we can, whether that is donating, whether that is marching. You know, now there's times of coronavirus, so some people can't feel it's not safe and stuff. There's a lot of information out there on how to do it and what the marches are like. But also most importantly, I think is to educate ourselves.
100%.
To read about it and to not, you don't have to make it, you don't have to tell black people to educate you. You should to educate yourself and research and read books. And I think something that we need to accept sometimes is that sometimes we can, when you cannot consider you don't consider yourself a racist person, but sometimes you can say something racist without realizing. And if someone calls you out, you don't need to try and prove why you're not racist. What you have to do is listen and educate yourself and say like, okay, why is this affecting you? Okay. And listen to people. And you know, that is the only way that as privileged white people, you can move forward into the goal, which is like equality in all senses and everyone being educated in the same way. And I think it's important for everyone to actually at least do these things because the gravity of the situation right now is really, really big. And as I say, it's not a black people or a minority problem. This is a whole issue that involves everyone in society, man.
100%. A great message.